Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Evan, and I wanted to watch this video. I don't know if you guys know this YouTuber. Her name is Amala Epinobi something. I hope I said it right. But I watch her a little bit. She's a conservative commentator, YouTuber, and I think she has some fair takes. Like I feel like she's not like super right leaning. She's very somewhat mid. Um, but I just wanted to kind of review what she says, what she's talking about in this video, because I think it goes into a deeper issue actually. So let's get into it. All right.
Apparently leftists are finally putting their money where their mouth is and saying, you know what, if Trump is in power, I will be leaving the US. So we'll have some thoughts on that. Let's watch this video explaining the situation first.
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation. Interracial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their...
What did he just say? Interracial couples, LGBT people, people of color, and intelligent people in general is wicked wild grouping. Anyways, I'll let it slide. Let's continue.
With
That is pretty wild grouping.
In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK,
I would never want to go
relocation companies can
any of those
keep up
places.
with demand. Traffic to Blacksit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election.
Relocate where?
Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only 2 genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues: immigrations, taxes. Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet
Was that
than staying in
propaganda?
a country that is already a fascist dictatorship.
Did y'all hear that? They said, let's go to somewhere on the brink of war rather than being here in the fascist dictatorship that is the United States of America. Now, y'all got me looking around. Is there a fascist dictatorship behind me? Tell me now. Tell me now if there is, because I'm living here in the United States and I am, again, looking around and I'm not experiencing it. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. But if you want to put your money where your mouth is, again, and pick up and leave the United States, by all means, best of luck and bon voyage. Now, if you're going over to Europe, one thing is you're probably going to find a lot of similar issues to what we're dealing with here in the United States over there. It's not going to be all that different. And again, you're going to get a culture shock, because I think a lot of people are under this idea that the United States is just this horrible, awful place. It's the rat race, it's capitalism, it's misogyny and racism and all the different isms, okay? And they think they're going to leave the United States and not run into any of those conflicts or not have any conflicts with their ideology whatsoever. Boy, are you wrong, okay? You're going to experience the same things elsewhere, because a lot of these people, let's be honest, tend to carry their issues with them. What's interesting is when you compare these stories and these ideas to what's happening here in the United States, people who are living in blue-run cities and states like I am right now in Los Angeles, California, they are jumping out and moving to red-run areas, whilst leftists are apparently leaving the United States because they can't stand Donald Trump. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out for these individuals. But I have some more examples of people talking about this, so let's get to it.
The New York Times has interviewed 3 Yale professors who decided to flee the United States. All 3 of them study, teach, specialize for decades in the rise of oppressive regimes throughout world history. One of the women in particular, she studies totalitarianism, and she has for years. And when they were like, why are you leaving the United States? She said, the lesson from 1933 is you get out sooner rather than later. And she was like, when Trump was reelected and a lot of my colleagues started to panic, they were trying to calm themselves down, saying, we have checks and balances, we're fine, checks and balances. And she said, it feels like the Titanic. It feels like we're all saying, like, the ship is unsinkable. And she's like, as a historian, all of my work always tells me there is no such thing as a ship that is unsinkable. Truly, like, we have the fight of our lives over the next, 20 or 30 years. People just have to be aware of it, because it's not good right now.
Do you have the fight of your life coming over after these next 20, 30 years? You're sitting in your car on your Apple iPhone making a TikTok. I don't think you have the fight of your life coming. Let's be honest. And I don't think many of these people do. I think a lot of these individuals are quite frankly doing nothing. A lot of them are sitting on their asses, okay? But they are so moved by the propaganda surrounding this current administration that I guess they're willing to leave the United States, which again, they're going to take their ideology with them. And that's going to land however it lands in whatever country they go to. And again, they're going to run into some of the same issues in the other countries that they move to, because they're moving to other Western countries. So it'll be be very interesting to see how this pans out for them. Again, if you want to leave, by all means, you can do exactly that. But this idea that you guys are in the fight of your lives right now, it's just a little ridiculous. And I'm not saying that I completely love everything that this administration is doing. I'm still waiting on those Epstein files, which apparently are just not coming out now. What is going on with that? But to think that you are living in a fascist dictatorship or in a world that is on the brink of totalitarianism because of this administration just is simply a little wild to me. It's just a little wild. Now I can think of some examples of authoritarianism and totalitarianism that we sort of softly experienced over the last decade or so, and this is not coming to mind. Donald Trump is not coming to mind. But, you know, these people are not alone. It's not just these individuals on TikTok who are talking about this phenomenon. Celebrities are also joining in the choir of people who want to leave the United States. Here's a clip of Jimmy Kimmel talking to Sarah Silverman about leaving the United States because life must be so hard for them here.
People I know are thinking about where they can get citizenship and
I do
stuff.
have Italian. I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I do.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I do have that. And what's going on is as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Way worse.
It's so much worse. It's just unbelievable. Like, I feel like it's probably even worse than he would like it to be.
What?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I do, every once in a while, I'll Google Trump regrets or MAGA regrets just to see all the people that I'm not happy that they're upset and that but it makes me hope that maybe people this will bring people together.
Maybe I heard that wrong.
It's awful. It's just so horrible for Sarah Silverman and Jimmy Kimmel. Can we be so for real right now? They're sitting in a done-up studio, two Hollywood celebrities who have not wanted for anything in probably so long, talking about how difficult it is to live under the Trump regime and talking about Italian citizenship and how she's so jealous that he's got, you know, the works for Italian citizenship. And I believe he actually has signed off on his citizenship agreement or whatever with the Italian government, some sort of process that he went through. Unbelievable. And they're not alone. Ellen DeGeneres left the United States or fled the United States. Eva Longoria did the same. Richard Gere is on the list of people who left. Rosie O'Donnell, all sort of citing.
All right, that's it for this video. That's all we need to see. But I really wanted to play this video because I thought it was very, very interesting. When you look at the world and what they think is going on, right? It is very convoluted, very confusing. Left versus right, same bird. But it is, it's just very confusing, very convoluted. And a lot of it probably doesn't make any sense unless you just sit down and say, nope, this is the side I'm choosing. That's the only way things can make sense. If you sit down and just choose a side. And I think it just goes to show when you don't have Christ at your center, you become very involved in the world, but like you become very confused. I feel you can see like people talking about how they're having panic attacks because Trump was president and things like that. It's like literally people thinking it's the end of the world. Like people talking about like they would rather be in, almost a war than be a citizen here in America, which is totally bonkers, man. So it's just like your perspective is so skewed at that point. This is not a left versus right video, but this is me saying like, where you have your center, where you have your focus is on, it really should be on Christ, because you could really sit down and see that like both sides could make points to say that the other side is wrong or lying or anything like that. But like the truth is that Jesus is real. And like he died for our sins. That is the basis. That is the truth. And so like anything after that is really becomes secondary, and just not essential. And so I feel like this young lady, Amala Epanopi, I think that's how you say it. I enjoy watching her. She's very conservative, whatnot. She, not to say that I'm a conservative, but like her views are a little more conservative, and she's a little more lighthearted, but that's why I watched her. So I wanted to hit the deeper issue though of what's going on when people I don't think she's Christian, to be honest, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter because eternal salvation, but I do think like even for her, she's like, it's not totally gung-ho, but she's picked a side, which is not Jesus. And so ultimately she is just involved in the world. She's like, she's liable to be wrong. I'll say it like that. She's liable to be wrong ultimately. Yeah, like obviously she's not the most extreme example. I didn't want to go to the most extreme example and to find this, but I wanted to go to a more moderate example to find this idea of like, hey, without Jesus, we're all lost. And I think even for her, like she seems like a smart person. Like I said, I watched her channel. She's like, and she's charming. She's funny, and even with her, she is very she's lost. She's very lost in the sauce, right? And she needs water, that holy water. So yeah, that's my that's what I just want to get on here and talk about that, because I just thought, man, like we really left versus right, we really confusing it when that stuff don't even really matter. The thing that really matters the most is, you know, to have your center, to have your focus on is Jesus and the good news, right? I think it says in the Bible, let me about trusty cellular verse that comes to mind is make yourself holy or something like that, holy and righteous before God. Yeah, I think this is Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1. Therefore, since we have these promises, dear friends, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit, perfecting holiness out of reverence of God. And so, like, that's what I'm saying right there. I feel like that sums up everything that I just said right there. You know what they say, there's more and less, right? So Holy Spirit just did that, and there's more and less. All right, so that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.